Waters are fast-moving.
Unlike other big rallies,
But earlier at about 7 a.m., a group from the Coast Guard.
Welcome to #PHVote 2013.
Today on Rappler, the crisis in Iraq escalates as terror group ISIS controls more cities. Filipinos advised to leave. Malacañang says Senators Enrile, Revilla, and Estrada can run in 2016 unless convicted. And racing champ Michael Schumacher is no longer in a coma.
Hello, I'm Maria Ressa. Welcome to Rappler, your social news network. The crisis in Iraq continues as terrorist group the Islamic State in Iraq and Syria, or ISIS, captures more cities over the weekend. The government forces fight to stop the advance of the Sunni militants after they won control of the city of Tal Afar and 2 villages northeast of Baghdad. The group threatens to march to the capital, Baghdad. ISIS, an al-Qaeda splinter group, wants to establish an Islamic State running through Iraq into northern Syria. On Sunday, the group posted photos online of massacred Iraqi soldiers. A BBC report says the photos could not be independently verified, but there seems little to indicate they're not genuine. The Guardian reports the United States is considering direct talks with Iran over the security situation in Iraq. In a statement Friday, U.S. President Barack Obama says his administration is studying, quote, a range of options to support Iraqi security forces.
Now, Iraq needs additional support to break the momentum of extremist groups and bolster the capabilities of Iraqi security forces. We will not be sending U.S. troops back into combat in Iraq, but I have asked my national security team to prepare a range of other options that could help support Iraq security forces, and I'll be reviewing those options in the days ahead.
On Saturday, the U.S. ordered an aircraft carrier, the USS George H.W. Bush, into the Persian Gulf. But Washington says U.S. troops will not be deployed on the ground in Iraq. The Philippine Foreign Affairs Department urges Filipinos in Iraq to leave, citing the rapidly deteriorating security situation in the country. Also on Saturday, the department raised Crisis Alert Level 3, which calls for voluntary repatriation. There are an estimated 500 overseas Filipino workers in Iraq, working mostly in American military bases in the capital, Baghdad. The U.S. Embassy in Baghdad started evacuating staff Monday. Malacañang says 3 senators charged with graft and plunder can run in the 2016 elections unless they're convicted. Senators Juan Ponce Enrile, Bong Revilla, and Jinggoy Estrada face plunder and graft charges for allegedly siphoning public funds in exchange for kickbacks. Deputy Presidential Spokesperson Abigail Valtes says the senators can only be banned from running for election if they're convicted by 2016. But a conviction may be unlikely by that time, given the load of the anti-graft court, Sandigan Bayan. Revilla is being eyed as a presidential bet by opposition party Lakas CMD, while Estrada is known to be among those considered for the vice presidency by top presidential contender Jejomar Binay. The Sandigan Bayan bars Senator Jinggoy Estrada, businesswoman Janet Napoles, and 13 others from leaving the Philippines. The court's 5th division issues a whole departure order against the 14 who allegedly connived to pocket millions in lawmakers' development funds. On Friday, the anti-graft court raffled the cases to divisions in the Sandigan Bayan, the start of the biggest corruption cases ever handled by the court in recent history. Senator Juan Ponce Enrile, for his part, filed an urgent omnibus motion Friday, questioning the evidence against him in the pork barrel corruption scandal. Enrile says the evidence against him is inadequate, even inexistent, and is based on hearsay and poor investigative work by the ombudsman. The 90-year-old lawmaker also asked the court to allow him to post bail in case an arrest warrant is issued. Despite escalating tensions between China and some of its neighbors over rival territorial claims, analysts say trade routes in the South China Sea won't be disrupted. The shipping lanes in these seas are among the busiest in the world. Singapore-based analyst Jayendra Krishna says the countries involved in the disputes will take care not to disrupt an important economic lifeline. China, in particular, has the most to lose. Krishna says a large fraction of the trade flowing through the South China Sea is destined to or originating from China. They need that for their economy. Gunmen kidnap a Malaysian and a Filipino off the Sabah coast Monday. This comes despite heavy security in the area after a series of kidnappings. Malaysian citizen Chan Sai-chun and the Filipino, identified as Maslan, were abducted from a fish farm off the coastal town of Kunak. Malaysia ramped up security after a bloody incursion last year by Islamic Philippine guerrillas who wanted to stake a historical claim to this area. A woman named Carla Martinez Ignacio faces up to 6 years in jail if found guilty of transferring thousands of dollars to her bank account using fraudulent computer data. Manuel was indicted for computer fraud in the first case under the Philippines' controversial cybercrime law. Passed in 2012, the implementation of the law was suspended until the Supreme Court ruled in February 2014 that it was not unconstitutional. Ignacio will be charged under the Cybercrime Prevention Act. Formula One champion Michael Schumacher is no longer in a coma. On Monday, he leaves the French hospital where he was confined after a devastating ski accident at the French Alps in December last year. His spokesperson Sabine Kem says the Formula One racer will, quote, continue his long phase of rehabilitation. Schumacher was placed in a medically induced coma after hitting his head on a rock in a ski accident. Let's now look at Rappler's Wrap for today, a list of the 10 most important events around the world you shouldn't miss. At number 4, football superstar Lionel Messi pushed Argentina to a 2-1 win over Bosnia Sunday. Messi had a largely quiet game by his own standards, but had 2 decisive moments to score for Argentina. After just 2 minutes and 8 seconds, Messi's free kick escaped the Bosnian defense, marking the fastest goal in World Cup history. The win puts Argentina on track for the last 16, with games versus Iran and Nigeria next. At number 9, online marketers track consumers on the web through cookies to lead them to customized ads. But they're also starting to track users offline by collecting data about their offline habits. Tracking consumers through their email addresses or, quote, onboarding is a hot trend in Silicon Valley. Critics are worried about the implications of allowing data brokers to profile internet users, tracking their recent purchases, or even where they live. And at number 10, leaked photos of the iPhone 6 surface online. A French blog shows images of the phone's casing, while Taiwanese pop star Jimmy Lin posted photos on his Weibo account. Sonny Dixon, described as a notorious leaker by Forbes magazine, posted photos of the new phone as well. Dixon previously leaked images of the iPhone 5C before it was officially released. News has been circulating in the last few months that Apple will be launching 2 versions of the iPhone 6, a 4.7-inch model and a 5.5-inch model. For the full top 10, visit Rappler.com's The Wrap. The San Antonio Spurs are the 2014 NBA champions after a 104-97 Game 5 win over the Miami Heat, avenging their loss in 2013. The Spurs survive an early rally by the Heat, led by 4-time MVP LeBron James. He leads all scorers with 31 points, along with 10 rebounds and 5 assists. But James didn't get enough help from his teammates. The Spurs took the lead in the second quarter after a 3-pointer by Kawhi Leonard. Despite foul trouble, he leads the Spurs with 22 points and 10 rebounds. Leonard was named the Finals MVP. At 22 years old, he is the youngest Finals MVP since teammate Tim Duncan won it in 1999. Duncan was also 22 at the time. This is San Antonio's 5th NBA title. Every story on Rappler has its mood meter, which gives you 8 emotions to choose from. Click how you feel and your vote comes down to the mood navigator in the middle of the front page. That crowdsources the mood of the day. It also gives you the top 10 stories that have affected our readers and our viewers the most emotionally. If you take a look on the front page here, these 10 stories have gotten the most number of votes. Let's look. We've got the latest iPhone 6. Interesting. Has 2 models. We have 34% who say they don't care, but they care enough to vote, and 33% who say they're happy. Spurs claim 2014 NBA title, 65% happy, 4% amused. That blue, bringing out the blue of the story that's gotten the most number of votes. This is from last year's privilege speech by Senator Bong Revilla. This is the video that he played. Watch Salamat Kaibigan by Senator Bong Revilla. Interestingly, you've got 28% happy, 30% inspired, and 34% amused. That blue, bringing out the mood of the day. Today, most people are amused. That is Rappler's newscast for today, Monday, June 16, 2014. Visit Rappler.com and watch our newscast Monday to Friday. Tell us how you feel on our mood meter and help us crowdsource the mood of the day. I'm Maria Ressa. As we say at Rappler, tomorrow begins today.